Okay, so here is the video for questions number 6 and 7. Number 6 says identify the geometric angle relationships in each diagram. Use what you know about those relationships to write an equation and solve for x. So these, a majority of these will be on the toolkit, the angle relations toolkit. So A, when I look at this first one, these two angles are in the top left corner of their two intersections. So those will be corresponding angles. So that's the name. And then the relationship is if lines are parallel, which we know they are because of the arrows, then corresponding angles are congruent. You can also say equal, so congruent or equal. And then the equation we're going to write is setting those two things equal. So x plus 15 equals 102. Then it did say solve for x, so we're going to get x by itself by subtracting 15 from both sides, and we get 102 minus 15 is 87. All right, part B, those are considered vertical angles. If we look at C real quick, so let's put vertical angles. If you look at C real quick, C and B kind of look alike because they do have those crossing lines, but they are different because the location of the angles in B are across from each other, and the location of the angles in C are next to each other. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. So vertical angles will always be congruent or equal, however you want to write it. Both will be accepted. And then the equation is setting those two equal based on using that equal. And then we will solve this. So I'm going to start by just moving this x to the other side to get all the x's on one side. So now I have 21 equals 6x minus 3. And then I'm going to add 3 to both sides to get the 3 with the 21 to get 6x alone. So now I have 24 equals 6x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals 4. So then on part C, like I was saying, these are angles next to each other. So I know it's a common misconception to say that C are vertical. It's actually a straight angle or a straight line. So when you look at this, here is our line right here. And what I like to do is kind of cover this up because that is not used. So now I can see that that is a straight line. So name straight line. If you write straight angle, that's appropriate too. And then the relationship is they are supplementary. And looking at supplementary, that means they add to 180. So you are not setting these equal, you are adding them up and then setting them equal to 180. So then what we're going to do here is combine like terms. So 3x plus 2x is 5x. 8 plus 2 is 10. Remember that since these are all the things that we were just combining there were on the same side of the equal sign, you do not change the sign, any of the signs. You just put them together as you see them. So it's not like 3x minus 2x. That would only happen if I was moving things across the equal sign. So like when I move 10, I do subtraction because I'm moving it over. That's the difference there. So then I've moved 10, now I got 5x equals 170. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5 because currently 5 and x are multiplying. So to undo, I'm going to divide. So x is going to equal 35. Now part D, in some of your classes, it depends on the teacher you may have called this triangle angle sum where you're talking about the angles of a triangle. In my class, Miss Robinson's, you just say angles of a triangle add up to 180 and that's fine, but triangle angle sum is the official title of it. We're going to look at first the fact that these are equal, so this is an isosceles triangle. So here is a line of symmetry I can fold over and everything should be the same. So that's going to tell me that this angle right here is also x. So then now we can talk about the angles of a triangle adding to 180. And then the equation we're going to write is adding every angle together. So x plus 2x minus 6 plus x should equal 180. So then we're going to put all the x's together. So x, 2x, and x. So that's 4x. And then write minus 6 equals 180. And then we're going to add 6 to both sides. To have 4x equals 186. And then the last step would be to divide both sides by 4. So x equals 46.5. Okay, so number 7, it says, explain what you're doing when you find the perimeter of a flat shape. How is that different from finding its area? So perimeter is the outside. That's a good indicator. And area is inside. Those are the difference there. Oh, sorry, that letter wasn't very nice. Perimeter is looking at the boundary. Perimeter is one-dimensional. Area is two-dimensional. So what I mean by that is perimeter, you're finding lengths of each piece on the outside, and area, you're finding length times width, base times height, things like that. So like area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. You're doing 2 dimensions.